Oh, crap.
I don't think I did that either. Everybody mute.
Done.
Oh, we're live now. Hi, everyone. I'm
Hi.
excited today. We are doing some mixed media. And
Hello all.
yes, I am here with the wonderful, happy, delightful, beautiful Kimmy. There's Kimmy.
Hi.
And I'm also with the wonderful, happy, delightful Mr. Ian Jackson. Hi, guys.
Depends on how many computers I've got to mend.
And we're all doing different stuff today. So it'll be fun and interesting to see everybody's take on what they're doing. Hey, Deanna.
Oh.
Hi, Deanna.
I am doing a Finnabar style canvas.
Ooh.
And Kimmy is doing art journaling, and Ian is doing charcoal and...
We'll just call it charcoal and chalk for the time being.
Charcoal and chalk.
Can't find you now.
Canvas, I believe that's canvas. So yeah, that's what we're working on. So I hope you guys are all going to craft along with us because it's going to be fun. Now that everybody's doing something completely different, you'll get to see everybody's take on different things, which is cool.
Please keep in mind, everybody, that I am not an art journaler. So I'm completely a beginner. So I'm just going to put my best foot forward on this.
You're going to do fine, Kimmy.
I'm just getting you all set up, guys.
No worries. That drawing is amazing, Ian.
Everything Ian does is amazing.
That's true.
Oh, I don't know about that. You want to see some of my failures?
Well, I love the Bowie picture you posted yesterday. I was in love with that.
Oh, I love David
Bowie. It was like an iconic image of Bowie's, that, weren't it? In Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
And I thought, oh, do you know, it's been so long since I last did a Bowie painting.
Oh.
So I thought, go on, well, it was just before it started. So I had about half an hour to actually look at the picture and draw it. So I thought,
was one of my favorite movies when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I love him.
I liked him in a band called Tin Machine.
Oh, yeah.
Which were one of his later ones in probably late 1980s, early 1990s that he were in. I can't find my image now.
Hey, Siobhan. We're all doing different things. So I'm going to start by gluing these bits down that I have laid out here. This is a rough sort of estimation what I want to do with this. And this is going to look completely different by the time I'm finished. Because once this is done and everything's glued down, then everything's getting a coat of black gesso, which is always the scary part to me.
Black gesso.
Yep. So off they go to start gluing down. I'm just going to kind of keep them separate. So I'm going to start with this middle piece, I think.
Right, I think I've covered all areas there now. Yay.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Hello. As you know, I am here with Kimmy and Ian.
I want to call you Sir Ian, because I just respect you so much.
No. Well, unfortunately, the Queen has not yet knighted me, so you're not allowed.
When's that going to happen, Ian? We should make that happen.
It could,
Right?
well, next few days, next few centuries, we just never know.
Oh, okay. I think the next few days would be better.
Right? Kim has me watching so many Paul McCartney things, and since he's a sir, and I know how much she respects him,
Yeah, that's due to the
American,
fact that he were in a band called Beatles.
yeah,
Yeah, little
I'm
band nobody
American.
probably heard of.
And since I'm an
It
American,
altered the
I'm finding
course
out
of
how that
modern
works.
music history. In saying that, I think there were other bands around. I weren't around at the time, but there were other bands around that could have made it if Beatles hadn't have been there. It's
I
just
don't know, Ian. I'm a
there's
diehard Beatle fan.
because all there were at the time were what they called a skiffle band,
Yep, that's right.
and
With
there were lots of those bands around. In fact, a friend of mine used to be in a skittle. I can't even say it. Skipple band, and they used to go clubbing all over the place doing stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, they went on and they took the platform that they got and they altered the history of music.
They sure did.
Definitely.
They sure did. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a huge Beatles fan.
Yeah. Have you ever actually had opportunities to go to Liverpool? To the
I've been to Manchester, which is near Liverpool, but I didn't get into Liverpool, which is a very sad thing, but it didn't
Oh,
happen.
you were few miles away.
I know, but
I've been in the actual Cavern
when
Club.
you're visiting the country, you're like you only have a short window. Like I had 15 days in the UK and we drove from Somerset all the way up to Loch Ness.
Oh, oh
So
wow,
I got
that's a
to
good
see
journey,
a
that.
huge part
there,
of the country.
So what did you do in Manchester then?
We just went for lunch and kind of shopped around and things like that. It was just like a part of a day trip on our way,
All right.
to
Did you go
up
to
to
the
Carlisle.
Did you go to the big is it called the Metro Centre or whatever they call it?
No, we didn't.
No,
No, it was just like
no,
a
that's a
quick, couple of hours and then off we went because we were on our way to Carlisle. So,
wow. Yeah, I've been up all that side of country, Carlisle and up to Glasgow and all that sort of stuff.
yep, yep,
Yeah, nice, nice.
yes, it was amazing. So I'm just gluing stuff down. So let me click over to Kimmy and she can share what she's doing. Are you ready for that, Kimmy? Or
okay, yeah.
yeah, there you go. Share away.
I'm art journaling, and in honor of Kim, I had just got some things from Decoupage Designs, and this is the napkin that I'm going to be using
Mhm.
because this is her favorite color. So I am going to Mod Podge down some torn music paper.
I love that napkin.
Yes, I know. And they have a great sale at Decoupage Designs. These 3 napkins were 50 cents American. And
Nice.
I just tore the ply off of the back, and I'm only using one out of the 4 images. So, super great. I'm going to use some circles, some paper circles that I punched out, some strips. So right now, I've got all my paints and alcohol inks and things ready. Um, got some new Distress inks I'm going to give a whirl. These were from White Rose Crafts for
Yeah.
96 cents on clearance. These are super, super great. It's
Right.
chipped
99 cents.
sapphire,
What a bargain.
right? I'm going to try chipped sapphire and evergreen bough for these. So I'm just using my Mod Podge gloss, just the plain one for this. I don't want, too much sparkle and things going on. So I'm just going to start Mod Podging down my music paper right now is all I'm up to.
Cool. Now I'll clip over on you, Ian, or click over on you.
Clip.
Yeah, well, what I've been doing this morning is I've found a really nice black and white picture of I believe it's a lioness
Yeah.
yawning. It's just like it's just got up and it's having a good yawn. So I'm going to attempt to do that. I've already drawn out the basic outline in pencil, and I'm going to do it in very high contrasting charcoal with one of these.
And what is that?
It's a well, the end of that is willow charcoal, a big long stick of charcoal, but charcoal is very messy.
Yes,
So
it is.
they've provided us with a nice stick to put it in so that we don't get his hands mucky.
Oh, that's
So
a good idea. Yeah.
Never seen
it's a
that before. That's a great tip.
Yeah.
It's almost like a pen for holding your charcoal. So, and you can get these in good art shops. So I'm going to use one of them and be very expressive and draw the shape out. And I'm also going to use a few of these chalks here to fill various areas in that might need to be white. I'm doing this because I've not done any dry media charcoal chalk work for a long time, and it's about time I had a go at it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going
Cool.
to get my hand back into a bit of charcoal and chalk work. But what I am going to do with this also, once I've got enough charcoal down, I'm going to wet certain areas because this is mixed media paper, and you can get some nice effects by wetting it and doing watercolor kind of techniques on it. So you don't just
That'll
have
be awesome.
dry media.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing, Ian.
We'll see how we go with it. It's a little bit experimental.
Siobhan said it might make a good eyeliner.
Well, yeah. I mean,
that's
When
funny.
my daughter comes home, we can ask her. She would know all about that.
Siobhan, they'd love this in Liverpool for what are that? Scouse brow or whatever they call it.
Scouser brow.
Something like that. You know what girls? I don't know. I think what did they literally take off their entire brow and paint on a false brow.
Yeah, they shave off their brows and then paint them back on. I don't understand that myself.
And it does not look anything like real at all.
No.
I mean, but anyway,
I don't get it.
Who am I to comment?
Their own, right?
It's a young person thing because
as long
I
as
know
Mrs.
that's
Jackson
done
don't
that.
do it, we're right.
Is that your puppy barking, Ian?
Hey?
Is that your puppy barking?
No, there's a next door neighbour's puppy that's constantly barking. It just never stops. But oh well, that's what dogs do, isn't it?
Yes, it
is. I never do that either, you guys. No shaving of the eyebrows here. I barely have any hair left as it is. I'm never doing that.
Too much work.
I mean, last time I saw it work on anybody shaving their eyebrows was what Yul Brynner.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great example.
When he King and I, and he had like very shaven eyebrows, but he had no hair whatsoever on his head. So it worked for him.
He's a great actor. King and I is.
Deanna says, I'll keep mine the way they are. Thank you.
Yeah. Ditto, Deanna.
So, I don't know. I mean, you're right age to know, but I don't know whether you'll probably remember who it is, being over in America. Charles Aznavour died yesterday.
Oh, Charles Aznavour, yes. It's not my generation.
That guy.
That guy.
I know who that is. Yeah.
It's not my generation,
Young
but
sheep,
it would be
yeah,
like
that's his
my
favourite song.
mother-in-law's generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the song he just sang anyway.
Well, it's a right famous piece of music, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can barely remember that at all. I remember it when I were a kid. It used to get played a lot on radio. And for those of you who are not old enough to remember what a radio is, it was a device into music.
He's a flautist, and I played in every band that you could play in high school, and I still play the flute. And so I'm sure played that piece of music.
I think Ian should sing more often for us now.
Right?
Oh no! I've been banned from more karaoke places than I care to mention.
I love karaoke.
Karaoke.
Ian, you're super cool.
Jackson's a karaoke queen.
You are super cool, Ian. I sing on Hangouts to Kim all the time, and she doesn't like it much.
Yes, I do. You sing away, girl.
I know. I know what I didn't get at. Oh, I wonder if I can use this brush. Yeah, I think this might be the brush for the day. I'm just going to get myself some fresh water because that's getting to stage where.
Ooh, that looks like old coffee, even.
Well, it's green. It's got its own ecosystem in that now. No, that's what happens when you have really strong pigmented paints. It only takes a few swills and it goes that colour.
Dana, that's Ian Jackson, Kim Slade Fuller, and I'm Kim Lippincott.
Yeah, there's two Kims. So she's Kimmy. The lady I'm clicked on right now is Kimmy. She's doing art journaling. And Ian was just talking with his green coffee. And on to me, I am working on a Finnabar inspired canvas at the moment.
Here's what I've got done so far, everybody. I've just got my torn music paper down with the clear Mod Podge.
Cool.
And I'm going to be using this napkin because it's Kim's favorite color. So I'm challenging myself because I'm a total beginner at art journaling. So
everybody loves that napkin, by the way.
Decoupage Designs online. They were 3 for 50 cents. And I have just torn off the ply from the back, and I'm only using 1 out of the 4 images. So even the 3 for 50 cents will last a long time.
Is that decoupagedesigns.com, Kimmy?
I don't know. Decoupage Designs, probably. I don't have the packaging sitting right here with me, but probably.
Okay.
And then I've just got some of my acrylics I'm going to give a go. To try to match. I have alcohol ink or Liquitex ink, different things. I've got my distress inks, and I've got some metal pieces that I rusted, and I've also got from the Dollar Tree a bunch of eyeshadows that I'm going to use for mica powder. There's a pink, gold.
Ooh, nice.
So I'm going to give those a go.
Yeah, good tip, because eyeshadow has mica powder in it. You can use it instead of buying expensive mica powders.
And these are so cool. They unscrew, and then when you pull this up like this, there's a little reservoir in there, so you can't even really use too much, and it comes with its own brush. So you really can't get better than that. And that's $1 at Dollar Tree.
Yay.
Thanks for coming, buddy.
I always pay off at top when I go to a Dollar Tree. I always end up paying £1 for $1 for everything. That's top money, isn't it? I mean,
yep.
That's, I don't know. I wish they'd like 50%.
Now, did they close Poundland there yet?
Poundland?
Yeah, did they close it yet? I heard it was closing.
Yeah, it's been closed. Yeah, but we've got several different ones like that. there's Poundland and there's Pound World and there's Everything's a Pound and
Oh yeah.
there's several, but yeah, it's closed down that, and unfortunately, that was the one that did the best stuff.
Yeah, we've had a lot close here, different ones too, variations on Dollar Tree. And all the ones where everything's not actually a dollar don't last.
Well,
Really?
some of the ones that we have now, they creep little special offers, things that uh, they're like $2 for you. They'll have a shelf that is $2.
Huh.
Oh yeah, that's more like a charity shop here, like a thrift store. Even
All we got here is Dollarama.
Our Michaels used to do grab bags for $1 and $2. They don't even do those anymore, but I know they do them in other places, which really makes me mad. That's kind of not fair. Hi,
What I
Carla.
what I can't stand is the demise of the humble creative art shop. There's virtually none whatsoever now. I mean, the only shops we have now is something called Hobbycraft, which is a bit like your Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ian,
And
we have so many here. You'll have to come visit because there's so many here. My daughters go to them all the time, and I've gone with them, and there's so many fantastic ones here. You'll have to come visit.
Hi,
really,
Debbie. Hi,
it's
Carla.
nice when you get a place that's got it. Hello, all.
You know, there's a place in the U.S. called Creative Reuse. I'll have to
Yes.
see if there's one near you, Kimmy.
I have seen.
I believe there is, yes.
I've
It's
seen
like,
certain people talk about.
yeah, it's like a thrift store with art supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Very
can go
cool
and
stuff.
get material and stuff, can't you?
Yep.
It's also at the store I'm talking about. I just can't remember the name. I wish Carolyn was home. She knows. Um, oh my gosh, I can't think of it. But yeah, they do that in a couple of stores, and they're all clustered in this one off this one road.
Cool.
So it's super quick and easy if you guys come for a visit.
Yeah, we'll just pop over on my broom and off we'll go.
Yep, they're just all, right next to each other or within, a mile or two.
The wings, Shannon, I got on eBay long time ago. I love them too. They're one of my favorite things.
You can find the wings anywhere.
Yeah, these are nice big ones. I love them. But unfortunately, they're only one-sided, so I had to flip this one the other way, but it does have texture on it, so that's okay.
Casey, is that question for me?
No, it's probably for me. How do I rust my metal pieces? With Finnabar rust paste. Now, I've seen lots of tutorials for rusting pieces on YouTube. I even saw one where you use cinnamon, and I saw a tutorial by, oh my gosh, I can't think of who it was, but she used old rusted metal pieces and vinegar and a little bit of water and put it all in a bucket, and then she put fabric in with it. And
is it Jerry Bellini?
That's the way that I did it. I used that recipe that was on YouTube. That's what Siobhan is saying as well, and that's what I did.
Oh, peroxide salt and water?
Yeah.
Cool. I've never done it.
I didn't leave it in long enough, but you can see how they turned out.
Hang on, let me click on you. Oh, cool.
I would have left them in longer, so.
Hi, Randy.
Hi, Randy.
Randy, I'm here with Kimmy, who you're looking at right now, and Ian, who is this amazing charcoal artist over here. And
hello.
This is me with all the metal pieces. Dana says, I live a few hours from the border of Canada. Oh, you're in Wisconsin? So our town gets bus loads of travelers holiday shopping. Yes.
Same here. We get a lot of people from the UK at Christmas time.
Mm.
I used to work for Virgin Atlantic. So
All right, yeah.
I know the travel times for most of the Europeans. I loved that job.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, those planes that come over from where you are actually fly over us.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
quite what?
Yeah.
They're quite what?
On the way to places like Manchester, and
Right.
or if they're going over into Europe, if they're direct over to Europe flights, but more often than not, the they come over Atlantic, and then they head down towards London to one of main London airports, or either Birmingham or Manchester.
Heathrow. I've been to Heathrow, but only once, and I was a lot young. I was like 19. But yeah, now where I live in Central Florida, I'm right smack in the middle of two airports. One is the Orlando, so there was lots of Manchester to Orlando multiple times a day. And then it's Sanford is the other airport, and now they do just as much international business at that one. So I can get to either one of those.
Stanford's one of airports for London.
I'm sorry?
What'd you say, Ian?
Stanford is one of airports for London.
Yes. Yep.
It's one of
I think can get to either airport
in London, isn't there?
Really quickly. So if anybody wants to come visit and you don't want to rent a car, I am happy to pick you up at the airport and drive you to your hotel or anything like that.
Oh, you're so sweet, Kimmy.
I love meeting crafty friends and I love driving. So
So Dana said that she's doing her first attempt at eco-dyed paper, which I want to do.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And Randy was on a Twitch stream until 2 a.m. Well, my goodness, Randy, what were you up to until 2 a.m.?
Wow.
Okay, Siobhan, she's making chicken stew, and I'm coming for dinner, Siobhan.
Right.
I will say that to her.
What are you putting in that chicken, Siobhan?
Love you.
Are you spicing it up, or is it just traditional classic?
She's coming back. She's just working on it.
Oh,
she's
okay.
going to be back and forth.
Cool beans. Ian, that's amazing.
Hi, Tammy.
It'll take a bit to build up, but the idea, there's a background on the picture, and you can see little bits of light area. So I'm just trying to get that in place at the moment, and then I can start. And that's the darkest area of the picture. So once I've got that done, I've got a good guide to where I'm going to be putting my other dark areas. So I don't know. Rate I'm going at the moment, we might get finished before end of a session for a change.
Woohoo!
That's okay. Yeah.
And how you doing, Kimmy, with your background?
Good. My background is complete. I tore up some paper bag.
Oh, cute.
So I'm going to get ready to Mosh Podge in just a minute.
Awesome. And I am just about to add the black gesso. And of course, I don't have a rag here, so I'm going to have to get up and get one when I'm done this. But this is the scary part. This is always the scary part.
Yeah, click on Ian because I have to get up for a second too. Please.
It really is nice, this, because all you need, I don't know what the availability issues are, This is a really cheap set. In fact, I think I got this from a Poundland.
Oh, really?
A cheap set of basic chalk to charcoals, the greys.
Nice.
That's all you need. And you can make these almost watercolor like pastel paintings.
Very cool technique, Ian.
Yeah. Well, I started looking at water soluble graphite, which is nice.
Oh, yeah.
But the pencils are quite expensive. So I noticed somebody on internet was using some charcoal and wetting it and making marks with it. I thought, well, let's have a go at that then. And it's a better, setup than these water soluble. It's a lot darker, but it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot. I don't know. I think you get a broader range of darkness in it.
Very cool.
And it don't. It unlike when you start applying the water to it, because you've got your brushy kind of feel. It doesn't look like a normal traditional charcoal or pastel drawing. You know, that like flat kind of feel that you get from a pastel. It looks more brushed and more expressive, I think.
Well, I'm excited to see when you add the water.
Oh, I already have done.
Have you? Oh, is that what the top part is? Okay, cool.
If you look.
Oh, right, yeah. So it really is like watercolor then. Very cool.
Yeah, you apply it dry. You apply your as you would do a normal pastel dry, you know, in areas, and then you spread it out with a brush and just go like that.
Cool. Yes, I would use the molds I made yesterday, Shannon, but unfortunately they're not dry yet. I guess I'll show that.
They were awesome. Those molds were awesome.
I'll show you quickly here. I just started with my black there, you can see, but they're all flipped over actually. You can't really see them, but let me flip them back over so you can see.
They're
fantastic. I'm just going to give this a bit of time to settle and dry.
Right.
Put too much water on it because it's not watercolor paper.
Oh, yeah. So it will kind of go through that then, leak through.
So I'm just going to leave it for a short while.
So there's some of my molds I did yesterday, and they have to be trimmed. They're still rough. I have to get all the rough edges around. And this is with paper clay.
So amazing.
What do you mean paper clay? Do you mean actually getting paper and turn it into
it's paper clay. Where did I put it? I don't know what I did with it yesterday. Who is it by? I'll get you the link, Ian. But it's clay. It's like an air dry clay, and it's called paper clay. And these are so light. They're very, very light.
Well, it'll be like a paper mache, won't it?
Yeah, kind of. But anyway, yeah, that's what I was working on yesterday. But they're not quite dry enough yet, Shannon. So I don't want to add like more moisture to them when I start my spraying. Otherwise, they'll go mushy. So we'll have those for another project. So all I'm doing here is just getting in the cracks and crevices with the black gesso. And the whole thing's black.
That paper clay,
yeah.
Can you actually put some kind of in the clay itself, can you actually put some sort of PVA glue in it and then mix it into it, and then it has a shell of PVA glue on outer edge of it?
I don't see why not. I've never done it. So if anybody has done that in the chat, maybe.
Shannon, have you done that?
Because that then will protect it from, it'll water seal it, won't it?
Yep.
Or any other thing that acts like a plastic sealant. I mean, Mod Podge maybe.
Yeah, Mod Podge would do it, I think.
Yeah. So just add it into your clay.
Yep.
You know, mix into it and then put it. Do I assume it's a silicon? The things you're making it out of is a silicon.
No, no, it's made with paper. Oh, where did I put it? So weird.
The mold.
Oh, the mold or silicone, yes.
Yeah. So what you might need to do with that is just rub some before you put anything that's got glue in it. Just put some what they call it. What they call it?
I used baby powder.
Yeah, you can use baby powder.
Or baking soda would work.
Or what they call it? That greasy chemical. It's not an oil. It's like a grease.
Oh, I wouldn't do that with the paper clay.
Can you spray like cooking oil on it?
I wouldn't do that because I think it would leave with the paper clay. I think it would just make them greasy. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right.
I think it wouldn't work with the paper clay.
It would absorb onto the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, you could use baking powder or anything like that.
Yeah, something dry is better with the paper clay.
Yeah.
Ooh, they have scented baby powder here. That would make it smell pretty.
Yes, it would.
But it make it smell like a baby.
No, it smells like flowers.
Oh, there.
Randy, let me send you the link. We're just chatting and crafting. I've known Randy for years and years and years. Let me see here.
Yeah, good idea.
How can I send him the link? Because you're not on my Facebook, Randy, so I'm not sure how to. Let me see here, friends. Let me try it this way.
Just on the subject of techie issues like Facebook and YouTube, this week Facebook had a major security problem.
Yeah.
And some people have been caught out by having their Facebooks hacked and cloned. So you must be very careful about accepting anybody who you think you might already be friends with. Because I mean, I've had 2 or 3 people come to me and say, make a friend with me, and they're not. I'm already a friend with them on another page. So just be careful.
Yeah, always.
I just want to add a quick comment about these eyeshadows. Less is more.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this charcoal. I could just go over this really all in black, but you just put little areas of it and spread it out. If it's not strong enough, you can always put a bit more layering over it. It's always better to be more conservative about putting on your materials, because you can always put more on. If you put too much on, you're in a difficult position.
That's where I'm at right now. Difficult position.
Can you use another color to bounce it back?
I'm trying, but like I said, I'm a beginner, so.
You're doing good. Let me send it back over to you. I'm clicking on the wrong thing here. I'm clicking on you.
Are you talking about that being all black?
My canvas, yeah, it's going to be all black, and then I add the color on top of the black.
I mean, what I'd like to see on that is a bit of shimmery silver or something like that shows through.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I just did.
That will counterbalance the darkness of the black.
Yep.
That's what I just did. I don't know if you can see. I felt like it was way too much gold, so I just put silver on top. Can
you turn it slightly to your left?
Yeah, because it's just glaring.
Yeah, it's just glare. No, the whole book, not like twist it. Nope, the other way. Your other left.
Rotate it.
Yeah, that's better. Now it's sideways. But yeah, I see what you mean about the gold. But that's okay because it's only a layer. So
I'll see whether I can find that. There's a particular gold I like to use.
What brand is that?
Schminke. And it's a powder.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
It's called bronzing powder. And it is a really highly powdered you literally just put, with this particular one, you put water in it, but you can get an acrylic one as well.
Okay.
But it's the nearest I've ever seen to, these powders that you can get. There's lots of companies do this.
Right.
But this is the nearest I've ever seen to something that looks like solid gold.
Nice. I've got some mica powders here I'm going to be using, but they're from Lindy's Stamp Net.
That looks great, Kim.
I'm very tempted to do this lion in that, and then do
that would be so cool. You just blew my mind with that, Ian.
That would be amazing.
Right?
Oh, it's right color for it, but will it work? That's what I'm thinking.
It kind of is the right color for it. That's true.
I'm going to go for it. It's experimental. And you know what?
Well, I think we're all kind of going outside our comfort zones here today.
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely.
It means I'm going to have to set some other things up because you have to put it in a special pot, this.
All right. I'll click back over on me for a minute. Ian, is it worth buying a light box to trace images if you're not a good drawer? Shannon wants to know.
Yeah, it's a good tool to have. What I tend to do, right, is I get a picture up on the screen, up on my computer screen, on my TV, my monitor, and I get a piece of tracing paper and tape it to the monitor, and then I draw a picture around it if I need to. And that's my light box. That's what I do.
You can do it with tracing paper as well.
Yeah.
I have a light box, believe it or not, from when I was a child. My parents bought me a Walt Disney light up drawing desk, and it's just a light box, but it works great. I still have it.
I used to have one, but one of my kids confiscated it. So
I love it. I still have all the papers to trace as well.
You can
and the box that came in.
Well,
I'm just trying to find my little tool that I use a lot for getting things absolutely spot on. There's a tool that's
dry emboss with a light box and a stylus and a template as well.
Nice.
I think I may have redeemed myself a little bit. Thank you, Tim Holtz. Thank you, Tim Holtz, for the distress inks.
Yes.
Because I think I'm on the road to recovery.
Well, that's the thing about art journaling and mixed media is there's so many layers that I find that mixed media art goes through an ugly phase, that I call it. And then at the end, you kind of bring it back to its beauty because there's so many layers, right?
When it's getting to the stage where it gets to the ugly stage, that means it's getting in right direction.
Yes, so
That is
true.
kind of feeling, yeah.
Well, there's my canvas. It's completely black. I'm going to turn my light off for a minute because the reason I have my light on is because it's so dark here today.
Yeah, here too.
You can kind of see everything's very black now.
Yeah.
But you can see now I've got all those raised up areas where I can add more texture and things like that. So it'll be cool.
I learned a valuable lesson though just now, Ian. That was really good advice, and Kim with the ugly stage, because my art journal is almost finished. I don't have a lot of empty pages, and I abandoned ship like 2 or 3 steps in because I didn't like the way it was going.
Oh, well, never abandon it.
Look at this drawing here, right? It took me several hours to get drawn, and it went through several ugly stages until I carved out what I wanted.
Yeah, so I just learned a really good
nothing like this originally, and you've got to like take it through that stage of development to get it to the place where it needs to be.
Yep,
that's amazing. Can I
and
show
it really is part of the drawing. So don't ever be discouraged about something not looking right. It's just that you need to chip away at it.
Yep. And with mixed media, you can keep adding layer and layer and layer, right? I mean, there will come a point where there's no return. So you have to know when to stop too. But, you know, every mixed media piece I've ever done goes through an ugly phase.
Can you click on me for a minute, Kim?
On you? Yeah.
Yeah.
The only time you don't get an ugly stage in a picture is when you're being extremely deliberate about a process that you're fully in control of. Like if I were doing squares, for example, as an abstract piece of art, you very rarely get that situation of it going through an ugly stage when you're in a certain level of control. But if you're working out a piece of art and it's organic and it's coming together a bit at a time, you are going to have that ugly stage regardless.
Right.
I can't find my tool that I wanted to show you.
Is that better?
Houston, we don't have a problem.
Yes, Kimmy.
Can you see that?
I used the distress inks, and then you know, after the gold and silver eyeshadow, and then I used a layer of Mod Podge to, you know, get rid of that. So exactly the lesson I learned.
And another thing is white gesso is the fixer of all things.
Right. Like I'll show you. This is a double that I abandoned.
Oh my gosh, that's cute. Why would you do that?
Because I didn't know how to finish it.
Well, now you'll learn. There you go.
So what you need to do is go away and look at how other people have tackled that issue.
Yeah.
And pick up some ideas and incorporate it into that finished work.
Yeah. And it's also because I took my art journal in bed with me, and I didn't have my full craft room, so I just started and flipped and did a bunch more things and flipped and did a bunch more things. So I actually need to just keep.
Yeah, but now you have good background pieces.
Yeah, so now I have to keep finishing them for sure.
So
dry that, Kim, or are you going to use
as an alternative to having a light box? These are a lot cheaper. They're called scaling dividers, and there's lots of companies make them. And you literally you take a picture and you go, "Oh, right, that's that big."
Oh.
And the opposite end is bigger, and you scale it to the size that you need it to be, and it does it perfectly every time. Like that.
That's Good.
or
Very
how
cool.
far is that from there, or how far is that from there, and you can like do a dot to dot by the time you've done, and then draw it all. And honestly, having one of those will make you a much better drawer because it'll give
Tammy,
you a
you
sense
own
of
a
scale.
bookstore? You own a
Yeah,
used bookstore, Tammy?
very cool, Ian.
Sorry, Ian. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Go on. Sorry, you're answering something on the chat, aren't you?
Tammy owns a used bookstore.
Oh,
Oh, Tammy, you're going to be my new best friend.
Right, Tammy? Can you put a link in the chat, please?
I don't know if it'll let her.
no, it won't. Tammy's not a mod, so
Oh, okay. So Tammy, can you send me a link on Facebook Messenger, please?
Yeah, yeah, the bleach would kill any of that moldy smell, Siobhan.
It's in the bottom of her home. The used bookstore is in the bottom of her home. Oh,
Nice.
super cool.
All right, I'm going to mute myself for a minute because I have to use my heat gun.
Okay.
So talk amongst yourselves.
I'm getting out my paint now.
Right, I'm just going to set myself up for this schminker paint experience because I need to get some other bits of equipment. Yay, that didn't take long. I didn't think it was there. Right, I'll be back shortly.
Anybody else have any questions I can answer while they're prepping? Oh, Tammy's store, everybody, is on Facebook under Minda's Bookstore and More. Awesome. Hopefully you take PayPal. I just prepped. I'm just pouring out a little. These are Hobby Lobby paints, I believe. I can't see what this one's called. Viridian. This one's Viridian. This one is Lake Blue. I also have an Apple Barrel Key West. I've also got out my Liquitex ink in green, permanent green. Yep, that's what I have. I'm going to actually try the fan brush because I just want to do tiny bits. And then I'll put a big coat of Mod Podge over the top of it. Thank you, Shannon. These are Kim's colors. Yours as well. Oh, and I also have some rusty metal that will be glued on as well. So, yes, that's a good question, Siobhan.
All right, I'm back now.
I'd like to answer that too.
All righty, I am about to start laying down color now, which is the next step for me.
Awesome.
So I think what I'm going to do is
Tammy's about to answer a question from Siobhan about what year does a book have to be considered vintage?
Oh, good question.
Right?
Let me get some paint out here.
Well, antique is 100 years, isn't it? Vintage doesn't have a set date. It's just a period of time. Like, for example, before 1940s, it were a Art Deco vintage.
Vintage is 1966 and older, Tammy says.
Vintage.
This is
But
for books.
you can go into
This is just
for example,
books.
shops that sell clothing from 1970s, and they call themselves vintage.
This is
I don't
just
think
for
it has a
books.
set date, does it, vintage?
It's sad that clothing I used to wear as a teenager is now vintage. That's sad.
Yes. Yeah. I wish I had kept all my prom dresses and homecoming dresses for sure. They
I
were
wish I
peach
just
and
had some
black
of my cool
and
jeans
lavender.
and my peasant tops and things like that that I used to wear.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Ditto. Antique is like 1800s, she says. This
Yeah.
is she's just answering about books, though, everybody.
Under law in our country, it has to be at least 100 years old to be antique.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have lots of
To
vintage
be
things.
frank, most things are in this country.
Ian, be proud of me. I know the brush I'm using. It's a fan brush,
Oh, yeah.
and I know what it does.
It's got lots of use as a fan brush.
Yep. I'm gonna
Sometimes they
try
call it a
painting.
blending brush.
I'm gonna try painting like a mountain and doing some snow and stuff with this
Mm.
brush time.
Watercolor artists use it to do bits of twigs and things like that at the front
Yeah.
of a picture. Texture brush in that context. I'm not very experienced with using this particular thing. I've used it a bit for doing sign, lettering and things like that, but
Hmm.
not particularly a lot with painting, because I don't really get how you would want uh, high glossy colours in things like watercolor, because normally watercolor painting is very matte and pastel traditionally, but it seems to be very trendy at the moment to do very uh, bright, vibrant colours in watercolor painting.
You're all good, Tammy. Just let us know when you have a second.
You can't actually see that, can you?
So the first color I put on here is just a little dusting of gold. And again, it's all about layering.
Love it.
So, this is just the first layer. And I'm using a very dry brush because you don't want to paint this. You want it to just highlight all the areas. And once I start doing sprays, there'll be more color on top of it. And
Yes, that's a good point, Siobhan. Everybody, please go and sub each other's channels. That would be really great.
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you know what I've been doing recently? We're going on to, they call them like care and share groups, where lots of YouTube creators get together and just sub to one another. And
oh,
fair
really?
enough.
Creative collaboration. Yeah.
Um, I mean, I've got friends now who are Funko Pop collectors and people who play drums and
Yeah, that's
all
awesome.
different backgrounds in YouTube creation. And it
That's
opens your
amazing.
mind up a bit. I mean, fair enough, I can't get to absolutely everybody,
Right.
but,
But
you
I would
know,
appreciate it because a lot of us have giveaways going right now. Kim does, I do. Shannon, I think, just finished one. Kim just finished one. So there's, that would be a nice thing to do too. And I absolutely will sub everybody back on any social media.
mm,
anyone that I use. I don't use Twitter or any of that. I just do Facebook,
I,
Hangouts, Google.
I, I obviously use YouTube and I've got
Mm,
Facebook. I've got an Instagram, but because I'm based on a computer, I don't use that very often. But I don't have Twitter at all.
I don't like Twitter, yeah, personally. I do Instagram as well. I love Instagram.
hmm I'd do Instagram a lot more if I could get easy access to putting things up on my computer, but they don't want to make it easy for computers to
Yeah,
do
no, they just
anything. So it's not really the environment. And I do like that Instagram TV thing.
yeah,
That's a really good, yeah.
yeah.
But
Okay, so Tammy says vintage is 50 years or older. Antiques or 100 and older. That's the difference.
yeah,
Oh yeah, golden books. I had all those for my kids when they were younger. We love golden books. And all the Disney stuff we love here.
so if you go into a shop that sells 1980s clothing and it says vintage clothing, it's a generic term actually because it can mean a lot of things. But legally speaking, it's
Right.
not vintage unless it's of a certain age.
Oh,
But people use it to say, oh, of a certain time period. Because I mean, you go into fashionable shops in London and things like that, and they've got like boutiques that sell 80s clothing. Why they would want to buy 80s clothing, I do not know. But
right.
I still have a lot of my 80s clothes.
what's that I hear? I'm still wearing it.
No, unless it's Springfield, I'll wear it.
That's funny.
I have
I'm
all
still recovering from watching kids from Fame.
I have my U2 concert shirts. You guys will like that.
Oh, U2 concert. Oh,
I love U2.
Nice.
I've been to a
yeah.
few.
One of great bands.
I love them. I have a secret crush on, not so secret crush on Bono.
Yes, I think a lot of people do.
Yeah,
No, I think you'll find that it's now a public crush.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just love that. I love that he's socially aware. I love the charities. I love the
Yeah.
music. And Rick Springfield as well. He's very, very big into animal rescue. So I love that as well.
They've always been quite keen on um, oh, activism.
Yes.
Yeah, you too. Yeah.
I'm
Good for
gonna
them
name my
if they've got
dog
the
after.
platform. If they've got the platform, why not tell people what they feel about certain things?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
They've built their platform, so yeah. If people don't like what they're saying, they can go away, can't
Yep.
Yep.
I'm gonna name my next puppy Bella. And I was inspired by something that Rick Springfield wrote. And even though my children and everyone thinks it's a quote stupid name, I'm doing it anyway because it has something to do with animal rescue.
I am adding mica powder now, Shannon. Sorry. This is a Lindy's Stamp Gang lilac violet.
Ooh,
And with mica powder, you just use very, very little and you just kind of brush it in. And when this gets wet from the other sprays, it will run. So I may add more of this at the end as well, but it's highlighting a lot of the, as you can start to see here, some of the color starting to come forward. And it really, like I said, it's all about layering with mixed media for sure.
Absolutely. It's very rare that you'll get a mixed media painting that has one layer.
Well,
unless
yeah, and no two are ever alike. I mean, you can try and duplicate it, but there's no way it would ever turn out exactly the same again.
I mean, only example of probably a mixed media piece of artwork that will one layer is a monoprint.
Yep.
But it's difficult in that sense because is it actually a mixed media thing or is it just a printing? But it is part of the mixed media environment of artwork. And I've seen some fantastic monoprints that have been made into extended pieces of artwork, by adding various bits to it. And, you have your monoprint to start with and then embellishing it with other forms of art. You can make some fantastic stuff. Like a bit like jelly plate printing, having that as a background and then going from there.
The key with the wings here, sorry, Ian, Tammy, is from Craft Supplies for You.
KS4U, the number 4.net.
Yeah, I'll put the link in a minute for everybody. The store is closed at the moment. Julie is having a bit of a hiatus right now, but she'll be open again fairly soon.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of books does she sell?
No, she sells craft supplies.
Yeah, Craft Supplies for You. That was Tammy with the, oops, now see, I got a lot of purple there, but that's okay. But it's amazing what mica powder does with this type of a project. And it really gets in the cracks and crevices. And I have some spots here that I see I've missed with the black, but that's okay because I'm going to be adding micro beads and all kinds of things at the end as well. So.
Hi, triggers.
I love the purple.
Kim purchased the steampunk metal pieces.
Various places. The scissors here.
Steampunk, isn't it?
The scissors here. Yeah, it is coming out that way. The scissors, this key, the butterfly, the angel wings, the little owl charm at the bottom, the little clock button, and some of the metals that are in the background all came from Craft Supplies for You, which is KS4U.net. The wings, I got off eBay. This heart piece is a Prima piece, and this tap here is a Prima piece. And the gears I got from butterbyscraps.com.
We couldn't see, Kim, the ones on the right, bottom right when you were pointing because the live stream boxes are covering it.
Yeah. So this one?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, all of those. We didn't hear any of, we didn't see any of them.
The key lock is from Butterbee Scraps. This little clock is from Craft Supplies for You. The gears are from Butterbee Scraps. The owl and the angel ring is from Craft Supplies for You. This is a broken charm here that I had in my stash. This metal piece is from KS4U. Like it's, you can use anything for this type of a project. I love mica powder, Siobhan. I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I won't be surprised if this gold is what I'm using is probably a type of mica powder.
Ooh, let me click over on you. Are you using that now?
Yeah, can you see it?
Oh, wow. Look at that. And you've got like the shadowing and the depth. That's amazing, Ian.
It's amazing.
You can, I mean, on screen, cool. you can't really see it very well on screen, but to me, here, it's looking really nice.
Yeah, it is.
But it's just difficult showing you it on screen. Can you see it if I do it like that? You don't get as much shininess. But that's
it looks incredible.
But I mean, in this, yeah, it's quite nice. This I'm quite happy that it's. What I'll do once I've finished doing this gold over it, I'll go over certain highlighted areas with me black, and just bring back some of the dark areas in it. And then I think that's probably where it'll get left.
Very cool.
The only thing is with this, even though, do you know, I thought that once with some things, when you wet it and dissolve it, it becomes set and hard, but it don't with charcoal. So literally, you can rub it and get charcoal on your finger. So that will need to be set eventually. And one of my favoured ways of setting things at the moment is acrylic spraying it. And then after you've acrylic sprayed it, I put some of this on it. Wax, 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 wax. And it stops it from being sticky.
I just realized I forgot an important step. I forgot to use stamps.
Oh, let me click on you, Kimmy, and you can show where you're at. That's amazing.
Oh.
Yes, the Tattered Angels would work, Tammy.
Those are my favorite sprays. The Glitter Glam is awesome too.
I don't have any of those sprays.
They're amazing. Here's one. Here's one of my favorites. You see it's in the bottom. It's a minty green.
Cool.
Love that. Okay, I'm going to stamp real quick because I forgot. Oh, here's where I'm at. I glued on my rusty metal pieces.
Oh, that looks amazing, Kim.
I put Kim's kind of favorite color, pearl, in the middle of that rusty piece. Then there's clips and paper clip. And I'm going to stamp, and then I'm done.
Oh my gosh, you guys are way ahead of me.
What sort of time scale have we got today?
I have no time scale, so whatever you guys, if you have to go or.
I'm going to need a break for the loo shortly.
You take that break, girl.
I need to go and get myself a drink of liquid refreshment because my throat's getting dry now.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that, Ian. Whatever you need.
Uh-huh.
I am just dry brushing on some turquoise now.
Shocker. Turquoise.
Yeah, Kimmy, it does look like patina, Siobhan.
I'm having a lot more fun with this than I thought I would. You were right, Kim.
See, it's freeing to do art journaling.
Mm-hmm.
There's no rules. You don't have to, there's nothing you have to follow. It just that's the beauty about mixed media.
Hi, Dana. Yes, I've heard of using hairspray. I've used it myself. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, some people have found that that's successful. Fixing dry media with certain brands of hairspray.
Yeah.
Although you got to be careful long term because it might discolor the image itself. So it is best to get the proper stuff, although it is expensive.
Yes, it is a bit expensive, but when you're creating art, you kind of want the right thing to do that.
Yeah. Well, especially if it's a piece that you might end up selling or something like that. You don't want it to go yellow on somebody in a couple of years. But then again, that sometimes is down to the paper.
Yeah.
Not necessarily if anything that you think that you're going to be set. Well, if it's a mixed media piece and I'm just experimenting, and somebody comes up to me and says, "Oh, Ian, I absolutely love that. I want to buy it." Well, I have to explain to them and say, "Look, it's experimental art. It needs it. it there's no guarantee that it won't, collapse in on itself
Yep.
at some point." So as long as you let them know that it's because of the type of art it is, it's potentially gonna, it's got the potential of collapsing in on itself. You've covered your back, haven't you, really?
Yep.
And they know that. So I've not got no problem with selling mixed media pieces to people, even if it's just an experiment, because I let them know honestly that this artwork has the potential to not be long term.
Yep.
So, but when it comes around to things like my watercolor painting, that's a different thing, because I make sure that the equipment that I'm using is all professional stuff. So, professional paint, professional watercolor, paper, the proper standard procedures for producing that art, and that will give you at least 100 years worth of guarantee if you do it right.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, the worst thing, I hate it when I send something out and something falls off. It does happen, especially when you're mailing art. It just happens. But
yeah, I mean, thing is, in real terms, when it's a piece of artwork, it should be sent as a. I know it's extremely expensive to do this, but it should be sent as a special package that's protected in a artwork package thing. But that makes it incredibly expensive to send stuff.
It is.
You're talking the difference between a few dollars and quite a few $100. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just for the sake of sending something securely. Now, if that piece of artwork is worth that, then fair enough.
Yep.
But under normal,
Shannon said, even the great masters of art paintings corrode over time and need renovation. So, very good point, Shannon.
You go and look at any of the great masters' paintings, and you'll see micro cracks in the paint.
Yep.
You'll see areas where you think, "Oh, that's a little bit dull in sky," and that's because blue is one of the worst colours. Blues faded heavily.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, but then again, you're talking about paintings that are 300-400 years old. So it's only to be expected that. I mean, the Greek and Roman marble statues that exist all over the world, or used to be in Rome and all that sort of place.
Yeah.
Originally, they were painted with colours.
Cool.
So, but you don't see that on them now. They're all white marble, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
And that's because the paints that they used on them, after a couple of hundred years,
they just fade. Yeah.
Vanish. And but then again, they didn't have the technologies that we have now. We've figured out light fast issues, and we make vast majority of paints that we have are man-made process paints now. They're not made from earth pigments, so they're a lot more resilient than the paints of our ancestors. Well,
yes,
allegedly.
they are. Yep.
Supposedly, anyway. We'll not be around to know whether that's right or wrong. But it'll be interesting to see, won't it?
Sure
You
will.
know, future artists will be able to look back and say our period got it right with regard to light fastness. But then again, will we look at art like that in the next century? It'll probably just get sent to us as download that we connect to his brain. Oh yeah, I can see it. More than likely.
Oh, Randy, I don't know. Are you on Facebook, Randy? If you are, okay. It's very complicated. So are you on Facebook? Because if you are, then I'll friend you on Facebook and I can take a day and show you how to do it. And that'll probably be easier than you struggling now while we're actually live.
Yeah, just watch and enjoy. And
Yeah.
there's not wrong with people hooking up privately and going through things that are a bit more complicated. Because
Yeah.
each individual's going to have an issue to deal with of their own, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay. I'll send you a friend request right after this show, Randy, and then we'll take it from there. Because yeah, I'd love to have you on. Randy is an amazing digital artist.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
Uh,
loved it.
yeah. So I'd love to have you on, Randy. I've known Randy's been on my channel and commented since my channel began. So I've known him a really long time.
If that's something like this, what I'm doing now, I'd paint the bones of it and then take it into a digital form from a photograph and
Oh,
play with it.
fantastic.
You know, and I add all sorts of abstract art that I've painted to it and stuff like that. And you can make some really creative stuff.
Yeah,
It truly
digital
is
art. Cool.
here in that sense.
Well, it's just another art form, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I tell you what, they make a lot more money digital artists than what us poor old real world artists do. They get paid a lot of money to do some of that stuff because it's very commercial stuff, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So you know, it's gets used for all sorts of commercial issues. I trained to do CAD, which is a similar kind of thing, but that's more three-dimensional artwork.
So I'm just keeping on layering and layering and let me turn my light off for a minute and you can probably see the colors a bit better.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So you just keep on dry brushing. And I've layered, the paints I'm using are the Prima Art Alchemy paints. Look at, I have blue fingers now. That's part of doing this kind of art is, you know, your fingers get messy. That's the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now, and that color was Billabong Blue Green of the mica powder.
Can I show where I stamped real quick because I have to eat. I haven't eaten today.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Nope, I'm clicked on you. Go ahead.
Diabetes girl has to eat.
Yes, you do.
I just used this stamp Believe.
Cute. I love the texture.
In the navy on the sapphire distress ink, and I stamped that all over the place on here.
Awesome sauce.
So I'm here and I can hear you guys. I'm just going to turn my chair around so I can eat real quick.
No worries. You eat away, girl. You have to eat.
But I can hear everybody.
And how are you making out, Ian?
I'm nearly done with the gold. I'm getting to the point where I'm happy with what I've got on gold wise. I'm going into final phase where I'm going to do the detailing work with the dark areas around the eyes and all these bits to really pull it out and tie it all in.
Yep.
And once that's done, I think that'll be me done.
Yeah, I'm getting close too. I'm just now I'm at the point where I'm adding the lighter colors.
Mm-hmm.
So you start off with the dark and then you work your way light, light, light.
Mm. Because I'm working with semi-transparent materials, I've worked the opposite way. So if you work with opaque materials, you can work both ways. But if you work with transparent materials, it's best to work from light to dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done. Right. I'm just going to nip and get myself a drink of water because my throat feels like it's had gone through a grater.
So now you can see here it's lighter, which you want to highlight some of your pieces. This is called, it's actually Blimey Limey Green. So that's what I'm using now. And then at the end, I'm just going to do like a dusting of gold and then some white splatters, and then I'm pretty much done too. But I hope you guys will give this a try. It's super fun, and it is challenging when you first put that black gesso down. Oh, thanks, guys. When you first put that black gesso down, it's very scary. But if you just keep working from your dark colors up to your lights, layering, that's the key. So I'm just highlighting now, and you can see down at the bottom there, I've got some highlights. And of course, I will have photos in the Angel Dream Crafts Facebook group as well. I may do a video on it as well. I'm pretty pleased. This was so fun. I'm glad I did this.
I'll share some photos as well.
Oh, thanks, Kimmy. So now I'm going to go in with the gold, which is marigold. This is like a rose gold. It's called marigold gold red. And it does come up like a bit of a rose gold. And again, you just use very tiny amounts, like I'm sure you can see there. Wait a minute, where's my camera? Very tiny amount. And I might wet that actually just to show you what it does. Mica powder activates with water, and see when I wet that, it's going to run. And it brought out some of the purple, but let's get some drips going here. Let's see what we can do with some drips. Sure you can see those drips coming down now. And they'll dry that color. So now you see here, I've got the purple, which was one of the earlier colors I did, which is cool. And then there's some blue that's going to run, and then we'll get some green. And you just kind of let it run down. And it really looks like aged metal. So that's the great thing about mica powder, is you can use them wet or dry. Let me give that a quick dry, but oh, I love how that turned out. See the corner here now? This has got like purple and the turquoise and the green and all the colors. It looks like kind of, one of those puddles you see that has gas in it, and it has all that rainbow of colors. like an oil slick. That's kind of what that reminds me of. I turn my camera off, or my light. There you go. You can see the colors better. So let me quickly dry that, and hopefully this won't be too loud. Is that too loud, Kimmy?
No.
Okay. Okay. So let me just add some gold dust here. And then the last little thing I'm going to do is a tiny bit of gold paint. And this is great if you have like your Inca Golds or something like that. I loved Rainbow Puddles too, Shannon. Oh, that's not the right brush. This is the dry brush. There we go. I mean, you could sit and play with this for a really long time. Now the red in this marigold red is bringing out the purple. Huh, that's cool. You never really know what you're going to get.
Oh. Yeah.
So if you're going to do something like this, just you can, Randy, as soon as we get on Facebook, you can show it to me, buddy.
Right, I'm back.
Welcome back, Ian.
I've got a nice drink and some ginger nuts.
Now, the last time you were on with me, you had some lovely lollies. Did you not? Ice lollies?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's getting a bit cold now, so I'm cutting back on the ice lollies now. So, because it was so hot this year, record high. It was really hot for Britain, anyway. And we only just managed to get us way through it by eating lots of cold ice cream and lollies. You had to do it. You got to do what you got to do.
That's right.
So yeah, so this is my treat for the day. Some ginger biscuits.
Yum.
Notice I said biscuits and not. What would you guys call them?
Cookies.
No, they're not the biscuits. Cookies are going.
See, you have a strange mixture here because here in Canada, we call them cookies or biscuits. We call them both. Yeah. But in America, I think they just call them cookies.
Yeah, cookies, biscuits are actually, you put them in the oven and bake them, and they're biscuits. Yeah. Like you eat those for breakfast.
Yeah, those are biscuits too, but
biscuits.
We don't eat them for breakfast here.
What you're calling biscuits, we call crackers.
No, we call crackers crackers.
We put cheese on our crackers.
Yes.
We do too. Love cheese in this house.
Isn't it funny?
It is funny.
Because I've got to learn about these things. Because if ever I pop over to US or Canada, and I say something, I'll it'll just go disastrously wrong. I was once in a Chinese restaurant, and we were about to have pudding,
Mm.
and they're asking the very basic in the puddings in Chinese restaurants, and they were basically ice creams with bits of fruit and stuff.
Ian, you need to come
And
because we have all those restaurants within walking distance, and we can order takeaway anytime you'd like and try all that. You would love it.
So this we were sat down at a restaurant in this one, and they were asking us what we wanted, and this Chinese lady came up and said, "A vinegar," and I'm thinking, vinegar? What with me ice cream? And I thought, wait a minute, because Chinese do have strange like mixtures of flavors in the food, sweet and sour.
Yeah.
And it says vinegar, vinegar. And I turned around to her, I said, no, I don't want vinegar ice cream. And everybody turned around and looked at me and said, vanilla. So I always put my foot in it when it comes to cultural matters like that, because I'm stupid.
Right now, lychee ice cream is a big thing here.
Oh, I don't think I'd like peach ice cream.
I don't care for it, but my kids do.
I don't think I'd care for that myself.
Mm.
Alrighty, I'm probably going to add a few more little touches, some mica beads and things like that, but I think I'm pretty much done.
Cookie
Ian,
ice cream.
your art is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I'm eating.
You eat away.
Got to get my energy levels back up.
So there's mine. I've added some gold, and yeah, I'll post some photos. Let me see with the light off. Is that better?
Please.
So you can see all the texture now with all those layers of paints and mica powders, and you just keep layering until you're happy with it.
I just wanted Caroline to look at Ian. Ian is a charcoal artist, and I want you to see what he did today on our live. We're still live. Isn't that amazing?
Wow, it's beautiful.
It's my daughter Caroline, Ian. This is Ian Jackson. He's
Hello.
Amazing. Hi. He did all the charcoal, and then he did the gold. What was the gold mica powder?
It's by Schminker.
It's beautiful.
And what's the name of the store on Colonial? The art store that you like to go to all the time? The big one.
So I think it's dry enough now for me to start, because I think I've got to be careful here, because if it's not dry, it might start smudging. So I'm going to start getting my detail working.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll call that a day.
Yep.
No, Sam Flax.
Sam Flax is the giant store we're talking about. We also
Is it an independent art shop, is it?
It's a franchise. They have them everywhere around here. And then we also have Art Systems.
Oh, no, I've not heard of those. Are those in Canada?
I don't think so, no.
No, I haven't heard of those here, no.
All right, so it's a US thing. Because I know US have got quite a few chain stores, haven't they? Like Dick Blick and...
Yes, they do. Yeah, we don't have any of those here.
What's lots of Dick Blick.
Joe's.
We have lots of Blick products in this house.
I mean, I can't get any of those, obviously, but they look like they've got a good range of stuff over there. I'm trying to advise somebody who's learning watercolor on what equipment to get, and it's really difficult because I don't know what art shops carry over there.
We'll
So
have to go live, just you and I another time when both of my daughters are here because one does charcoal drawing and the other one does watercolor. So that
all
would be,
right.
yeah, so we could do that another time.
That'd be nice.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh, whenever. You know, I had this slight worry when you said when it said 4 o'clock on the setup. I thought you meant like 4 o'clock your time.
No, it's your time. I should have been more clear. Sorry.
Because that would be like, I reckon it's. I mean, are you on the East Coast, both of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that would be about 6 hours.
It's 5.
Behind us.
5
So
hours.
that would be like 9 o'clock at night for us.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah. No, if I say a time, I'll do it in your time.
You see.
Just because it's easier for you.
Yeah, that's what international date line's there for. You go by GMT, and then you just take away or add the amount of hours that you are.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you all for coming. It was fun and freeing. I'm just adding some mica beads now. Whoops, which way do I go? This way. I think you can see them maybe. Let me move my light. There we go.
You can see them on the corners of the wing.
Where is it? Where's my wonderful?
So that glue will dry clear. So I'm just adding some turquoise mica beads, and these are the Prima glass beads.
Yeah.
Right. It's what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom into this area so you can see a bit more what I'm doing.
Okay. Oh, it's gorgeous, Ian.
It really is.
Let me see if I can get to my equipment.
And then Kimmy, you have to do a final show and tell.
Nothing's changed. I'm already done that. Good.
Is that close enough for you guys?
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. It actually it looks like texture.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Right. This is where me nice. I'm glad we had a go at that because it really has made that picture come alive. When you look at it at this end and you've got the glow and the shimmer of the gold, it really does look like a lion's, goldy texture.
Yeah.
Right. Unfortunately, I may have to abandon it as regards going much farther forward because I can still feel that it's ever so slightly wet, and I don't want to ruin this by putting dry media over wet at the moment. So we'll see what we can do in areas where it's not wet.
Very cool. All right, guys. Thank you all for coming. We've been nearly 2 hours now. I can't believe it. That went by so fast.
2 hours. Wow.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for coming. And Ian, thank you. And Kimmy, thank you. This was super fun and very relaxing. And
thank you, everybody.
I really enjoyed myself today. So thank you, guys. And thank you, everybody, for being here. And my wrenchies. I love you all. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.